Adam Grant and Jane Dutton did with the Benefactor Beneficiary study. They were looking at what kind of stories that you tell yourself can have an impact on the way you then show up in the world. So they gave these two groups of students in a call center at a university who were tasked with calling alums and asking them for donations for their alma mater. They got the one group to journal every day something that they were grateful for, that they were the recipient of, how someone else, one of their colleagues or one of their friends was making their life better. It was, to prime them to think of themselves as beneficiaries of goodness, and they were labeled the beneficiary group. Then the other group was given the reverse task, every day to journal, what did you do today that impacted positively on the life of a colleague or on, one of your friends or whoever? How have you been a benefactor? And they were called the Benefactor group. So they were tasked with interpreting their day through the lens of being a beneficiary of goodness or being a benefactor who was contributing goodness. Then after that, they measured each group's number of phone calls to potential donors, to alumni. Now it's important to bear in mind they weren't paid per phone call, they were paid per hour. But what they began to see was that the group that was primed, even fictitiously, like the Stanford prison experiment, it's fictitious, they were primed to think of themselves as benefactors. They had a 30% higher call rate than the other group. The group that took on and wore that mantle of I'm contributing, well, they contributed more. So what does the context bring out of you? Well, the context brings out the direction that the context is going in. If you're in a healthy context and culture where you believe you are contributing to the world, this is something that for us is very important here at Mygrow, is telling that kind of story. We are building an emotionally intelligent world. On the one hand, it feels a little bit grandiose and a little bit, arrogant and proud to say. On the other hand, it's a really powerful thing to build a team identity, a vision for what we're doing, so that we ultimately can be the kind of company that is seeing themselves as benefactors to the world, contributing, building an emotionally intelligent world.